Welcome to the Traitors, a Traitors podcast. I'm Matthew. I'm a writer working in unscripted TV development, and this podcast recaps and analyses every episode of the TV phenomenon The Traitors, not just here in the UK, but in countries around the world. This is a special, unique episode of the podcast because, we are currently covering both the Traitors UK Series 4 and the Traitors US Season 4. We've decided to compare each version of the show, specifically focusing on how they have dealt with this new mechanic, the Secret Traitor, and a couple of other things. To make it totally clear, this is probably obvious, we will include spoilers from episodes 1 to 6 of Traitors UK and episodes 1 to 3 of Traitors US. So if you haven't watched that far in both of these seasons, you may want to put this on hold. Informing our discussion today are your questions, all the thoughts and ideas that you've been sending us over the past few days. And when I say us, I don't just mean me and this creepy figure behind me. I'm talking about my regular co-host, David Bloomberg. David, thanks for giving me the idea to do this in the first place. It was your idea, and I'm pretending it was me.
Absolutely, yes. I'm the creepy figure next to you, not the creepy figure behind you, you know.
I'm pretty sure everyone knows who you are, David, if they are listening to this podcast, but you never know. Tell us a bit more about yourself.
Okay, I'll give the shortened version because it is the special double bonus podcast here. Yes, I've been covering reality TV for over 25 years, over 10 years on podcasts. I do reality TV videos on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram as @David Bloomberg TV, and I'll talk anywhere that anyone will listen, including just suggesting different podcast ideas to you, including this one, because basically, so that listeners know how this came about, as I was preparing to do the Traitors US episode 2 and 3 podcast, I kept wanting to say things like, oh, well, this is different from the UK like this. Well, this is the same like this. And I kept having to slap my hands as I was typing my notes because I was like, no, that's a spoiler if you haven't seen the UK yet. And also the people who are watching the UK won't get to hear this because they're not there. So this is the way to ensure we avoid spoiling anyone except those who specifically are watching both or don't care if they get spoiled.
And there are a lot of the people who do care because they have been sending lots of questions and thoughts on this. So you've been sent some, I've got some here. We're going to work our way through them. I thought you were inspired by something else, David. I thought you were inspired by Rachel and Fiona in Traitors UK because they sort of represented Northern Ireland versus Wales. And I thought you wanted a US versus UK confrontation between us. But turns out it was something a bit gentler than that. Although I did pitch this as UK versus US on my Instagram video, just for fun. So our whole first batch of questions are, of course, about the Secret Traitor, this new twist, this new mechanic. I was thinking earlier, I wish I had a cloak, a red cloak. And I thought, oh, I do have a red cloak. And I brought it with me. I didn't wear it, though, because it doesn't have a hood. So I thought, oh, that's not really the same thing. But what I'm holding, of course, is a piece of Traitors memorabilia, a rare artifact. This is Paul's top from the Traitors Australia Season 1, the infamous Paul, who, if you've seen Traitors Australia Season 1, you know why I'm saying that. A very enigmatic figure. And in a weird twist of fate, I won this in a competition. It's not like Paul sent me this. It did not come from Paul. I won it through something else. It was meant to be. So it's kind of a red Secret Traitors cloak. I'll keep it here as a little blanket to keep me warm.
There you go. Or you could just drape it over your shoulders so it's more like
I could drape it. I'll drape it until it gets annoying. So let's go with that. If you're not watching on YouTube, you're missing all of this visual magic. There we go. Hey, I look like a pink lady from Greece or something now. I don't know if that's what I wanted, but why not? First question about Secret Traitor. This is from one of our longtime listeners. This is Nutmeg Housebear on Instagram, and actually Cat Jean on Instagram, another faithful listener. Both sent a similar comment. So Nutmeg Housebear says, overall, I think the UK overplayed the Secret Traitor of it all. And US underplayed it. Interesting. I'd like them to keep tweaking it, but I loved the US public selection twist. I think he means the way that the first episode began
Mm.
with that traitor finding out in front of everybody else. Kat Jean also says, I enjoyed the way the US chose the secret traitor in front of everyone. So I just thought that might be worth talking about, whether we liked it or not. I guess I kind of did like it, actually. It was a way to get. We talked a little bit about this on the podcast, I guess, but I suppose it was a way to try and give the faithful something to go on, even
Yeah.
if it's completely wrong, to watch how other people are reacting, how they behave after. Do you spot anything about the way they respond? And I know most vast majority of the time, we talk about it all the time, you cannot really tell anything from someone's expression. It's all the time when they take the blindfolds off in the selection round table, people make up things like, oh, I saw them blink 3 times. That means they're a traitor. However, I will say, I correctly predicted the secret traitor, by the way. I did go with Mama Kelsey. I thought it might be Donna. And genuinely, one of the reasons was her response. The reaction shot of her when Alan opened the box, or one of the henchmen, or whoever it was.
That was
And I
Alan,
thought
yeah.
she was so stoic. And when she walked back and stood with the crowd, there was so little reaction coming from her. I thought it just struck me. I thought, is she really trying to cover up any reaction whatsoever? And I know they all played it really cool and tried not to react much, but I just thought there was something about her looked like she was very deliberately trying to do absolutely nothing with her face. That gave me a little bit of a hint. I don't know, maybe it was nothing.
What? Remind me, wasn't she first? Was she the first one called down?
She might have been first or second. Yeah, could have
So
been.
she didn't really have
Although
anything
I think no, Candace was first, I think,
Okay. Okay.
because she made a big deal out of it being picked first, I'm sure.
Oh.
And I think Donna was next.
So she really didn't have much to go on, presuming these were done in the actual order that we saw. She didn't have much to go on. And also, like, if you play poker and you see someone doing that, being absolutely so, they're hiding something one way or the other.
Yeah.
Now the question is, are they hiding that they're bluffing, or they're hiding that they have a good hand? You don't know. They're hiding something. So, yeah, it is one of many problems with choosing Donna as the secret traitor, which I'm sure we will get into as we discuss here. As far as the live doing it, I thought that was interesting. It does, like you said, it does give the traitors something to go on. I'd like to know why. The faithful, yes. Well, and the traitors eventually.
And the traitors in this case, yeah.
I'd like to know. So the U.S. films first, right?
I'm not 100% sure, and I have this weird feeling that it has changed in different seasons.
Okay.
I don't know for sure I mean, we know they filmed them back to back. I don't know if the US was first.
Because I'm just wondering, why didn't they do the same thing? And I think part of it is probably the UK has the train. Now, the train doesn't take up much time, but it takes up a little. So maybe part of it is they need more time in the UK to introduce these people, because, I mean, there are many people in the US I don't know, but none of us know anyone in the UK.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah,
we don't need that time in US. Yeah, they're celebrities, so they have most people are aware of some of them, so we don't need to get to know them. Sure.
Right.
So do you mean? So how does that relate to the selection in front of all of them?
Because it gives them more time to show, to show the people.
Oh, sort of one by one coming out, and okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Because they both have about the same runtime on their episodes. They're both about an hour, as I recall.
Yeah.
So, it's not that. I just love to know why they did it slightly differently. I don't know. Just, who knows? They may have just done a focus group of US versus UK people. And
yeah. Yeah, I guess I don't know what the answer is, but I did like it. I thought it was a dramatic way to begin. It
Hmm.
was something a little bit different. Doesn't Apart from the fact that it was a secret traitor, it's not like a huge
Right.
change to the format, really. So yeah, I thought it was quite cool, and so I agree with Cat Jean that they enjoyed it, and not Meg Housebear. Thanks for that. You also have a question, David, about Secret Traitor from Catherine, I believe, from maybe from
Yes.
Blue Sky.
Yes. Um, well, was it the, let's see here. Yes. One of the major things that annoyed me in both was we didn't get a chance to hear why the secret trader chose the way they did. The main traders usually get a chance to give their reasons and pick a short list that suits them. Whereas here, they were hamstrung by someone else's choice, so they may not pick optimally. And I do think we mentioned this on at least one of the podcasts,
Yeah, I think the UK
but
one. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, this is definitely, definitely, I agree with Catherine here that it's right. We get zero. Now, maybe later we we hear something after they were both exposed. We heard, but one, that's too late, and two, that's too little.
Yeah.
And especially when it came to the U.S. one with Donna, where Donna was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I picked the people who are quiet." And I have more to say about that later. Trust me, unless you want me to start ranting already. But I, it, yeah, it is annoying. You know that part. I think for the U.S. version, especially, the only things I liked more about it than the UK version were the open, the open designation, like we just talked about, and that the secret trader didn't know who the other traders were, taking one
Hmm.
bit of power away from them there.
Okay.
So those were the only two things I did like more. Um, Overall, like when I saw the secret trader twist on the UK, I had more or less positive thoughts about it. Not in the US. They did it so wrong in so many ways.
Uh, yeah, I mean, well, we might as well talk about it right now. What confuses me about the US one is how quickly it was all over. I have one thought about why that might be, but I was really surprised that by the end of episode two, they were, they were only just getting into, oh,
Right.
who could the secret traitor be? And then they were told, oh, by the way, tonight you're going to find out. Like,
Yeah.
it was so little. And I know I complained a lot, not complained, but I suggested on the UK podcasts, not sure about this secret traitor thing, hope it doesn't go on all season. But I would like a compromise. Like, I think, I guess for us in UK, 4 episodes was a nice point for me to reveal it. But US, like, start of episode three, we find out.
Well, no, we would have
Or
found out. We would have found out
end of
episode
episode.
4. We would have. They would
Oh,
have done a cliffhanger, much like the UK at the end of episode 3. They would have
oh, I
had Donna
guess, yeah.
walk in, but she had to go and ruin it by being a terrible player.
Might be. Yeah, so um, I, I'll come back to. I think I know what your thoughts on Donna are as the choice, and I think they're probably
I
the
may have
same
just
thoughts
given
as
them away.
me. Yeah, well, yeah. I probably agree with what you're about to say. We might come back to that in a few minutes. Catherine sent another thought. I don't know if you want to go with that now or come back to it.
Sure. It's no matter who the secret trader was, I'm sure the main traders would have banded together against the secret trader once they joined. This twist would have provoked traitor on traitor instead of it naturally brewing or a traitor having a flame out. I prefer organic tension and not producer created tension if it must arise. And I agree with her here. I mean, and my first thought was in reading Catherine's comment was, you don't have to have it versus. But then the more I think about it, yeah, you pretty much do. Because right from the get go, both groups of traders, US and UK, were like, I don't like being middle management. I don't like being told what to do. I don't like someone else having this choice. And in episode three's podcast, you talked about the comedian who did the bit on TikTok and Instagram, and then you put it in
Oh
your
yeah, yeah.
Instagram story about how the secret trader was sitting there going, "Oh, I hope this helps them. This is so nice." And then the regular traders are like, why is this person being such a dick and doing this to us? And so, because, yeah, the people you can talk to, you're naturally going to bond with more.
Yeah.
And so, and there was always that question of, oh, we're hunting, the traitors were always going, oh, we're hunting for the secret traitor. That was the only part I liked. Or the main part was that they were a little bit in the dark and they had to think about it too. But it led to, or it would lead to, these things that Catherine mentioned, that yes, they're automatically, even if they come in and people are like, oh, that's so great. Yes, let's work together. Now, had Fiona not popped a fuse, then, I think Rachel and Stephen would have worked with her for longer, especially Stephen. And there maybe wouldn't have been this tension. But with Donna, there, I think definitely would have been.
Yeah. I think it does. I think it depends on the cat. It depends on the person. I mean, there is the chance that the traitors that we know about and who know one another, the main traitors, like, are secretly hoping it's one other player. Like, oh, it'd be great if it was this person. And then it turns out to be them. And they are, they're really glad. They're like, oh, we're so glad it was you. Oh, we wanted this. And maybe there's like there has been a natural camaraderie between them just as like players in the castle. Well, it's like it's one of their best friends.
Especially
this is so cool.
Especially in the U.S. where some of them knew each other. Like, could you imagine if Johnny Weir is in the turret and Tara Lipinski is the secret traitor, or two of the gamers, two of the Big Brother players, or something like that, or two of the housewives, even. Then certainly I could see it then, but less so in the UK where they don't know each other going in.
Yeah.
And, also it depends on who they are. I mean, what if Jam Jam was one and Michael was one,
yeah, that would have been, oh, wow. Or I think back to what might have, I mean, I'm just sort of making up scenarios now, but when I think back to season 3 of US Traitors, and it was just a wild collection of traitors who did not get on, and it was infighting and chaos throughout. If they had had a secret traitor who appeared halfway through, I think like Carolyn, imagine it was someone she really liked. She'd have been like, oh, this is great. You can team up with me against Danielle. Yay. Or Danielle might have had one of her people come in and be like, oh, thank God you're here. We need to get rid of Carolyn. Yeah. So maybe that it could have worked out differently, but that's quite rare for the traitors to just not get on and not work together from the get-go. Yeah. I do have a kind of a follow-on email from Vinny, who suggests a way around this, which I thought was pretty cool. Vinny says, what if production inverts the roles if they were to bring the secret traitor back? The regular traitors give the secret traitor a murder shortlist, and the secret traitor chooses who's murder. That way we get to hear the traitors' discussion about who they put on the shortlist and why. Perhaps that would work best if the secret traitor and regular traitors didn't know each other's identities. So would that solve a bit of this problem, that then we'd get the discussion of who's on the shortlist?
It would, but then we wouldn't know why the secret traitor did it.
They might have to still show us that later in a flashback or something.
Yeah, and it's still...
or at least it's easier for the secret traitor later, once they've joined them, if they join them, to say, I got rid of this person because of this, and I got rid of this person because of that. Rather than saying, here are the 9 people I've put on the shortlist so far. I'll go through them one by one. Like, then they've only got a couple of people to explain, which might be easier.
Well, and it also eliminates the shortlist problem that I have talked about before, which is why in the UK, especially, they really had to end it in episode 3. Because otherwise you could get, if the person were strategically savvy, the secret traitor, you could get a situation where they just keep putting 2 of the same 3 on the short list. And it's not fair to those 2. And it's boring for the audience, too.
Yeah, that's true.
So now, the reason, just to remind anyone who may not remember what I had said, the reason I say episode 3, you probably could drag it to 4 or even 5, but to get the biggest pop in terms of social media And in terms of viewing figures, you want to end it on one of the threes, 3, 6, 9, because then people talk about it for almost a week instead of talking about it for 23 hours. And I believe the viewing figures bore that out with episode 4 being like 7 point some million viewers.
Yeah, huge. I think outside of the celebrity version, it's like the highest rated episode of any Traitor season in the UK. Yeah, so it did. Yeah, it worked. It did exactly what they wanted it to do.
Right.
The next couple of questions I have are about Donna specifically. So maybe this is the good time to David.
Warm up.
I mean, unless you want me to go first, but I think we're probably all going to be on the same lines. What do you think about Donna as the choice of Secret Traitor?
As I said already, terrible. Terrible for very, very, very many reasons. I mean, first of all, in both situations, they chose the oldest woman as the secret traitor.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Kind of look a little bit like each other.
Yeah.
Maybe that was part of like why I thought it might be Donna. Maybe it was just my mind tricking me like, well, she kind of looks like the other one. So, hey, maybe it's... so maybe that was a terrible reason.
This was the thing I most wanted to keep saying during the US podcast was, oh, look, they picked, the version of Fiona. They were both terrible game players. Fiona was better, but as we later saw, not by much. And, Donna said for her shortlist, she picked the people who were quietest. That is so bad on multiple levels. She first, those are the people who are usually suspected of being traitors. Maybe not right away, but often after a few episodes. So why would you want to get rid of them?
Unless she meant quiet but nice and everyone likes them. So they're not, but I don't think she did mean that.
Yeah. Second, she was suspected because she was being too quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
So why would she want to take out people who were behaving the same way she was? It's like we've occasionally seen this on Survivor. There's a player who's weak in challenges telling their tribe mates they should vote to keep the tribe strong. And it's like, no, you may not be the weakest right now, but you're the second weakest. And if they take out the weakest and you've already planted in their head that they need to keep the tribe strong, guess who's next?
Yeah.
So it's just a bad idea to start that whole... I mean, I know that the traitors aren't going to get her, obviously, but you start getting rid of the quiet people and it reduces the number of quiet people and puts more focus on you being quiet. And the focus was already on her being quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've got that. And I really think the show did everybody a disservice by taking what could have been a decent twist and throwing it in the toilet by giving it to Donna. This person, they're going to be working all alone, right?
Yeah.
So you need to give it to someone who can handle that.
Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily even saying a gamer, though, of course, that would have been ideal. A gamer would have been able to handle it. But, I mean, even someone like Candace or Rob R. would have been much more interesting in that role. And if you have to have Donna as a traitor, stick her in the turret where other people can talk to her.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
tell
that's
her,
what I thought.
Donna,
that
you're being...
Yeah, I thought they really, if they wanted her, for reasons that maybe I'll talk about, put her with the main traitors, pick somebody else as the secret one.
Yeah. And she already stood basically alone. She wasn't a gamer. She wasn't a housewife. I think I talked about this on the episodes 2 and 3 podcast. She's the oldest, like I said. Yeah. She already is out there by herself. The idea of making her, putting even more stress on her, it was just a terrible, terrible decision. And in fact, I guess now might be a good time for the Sun article. Unless you want to jump in before then.
Oh, I would just add, yeah, I thought the same thing as you that it's probably a bad idea to pick somebody who doesn't have in a celebrity version like this, who doesn't have other people that they're connected to.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in a civilian version, like none of them know each other. Well, unless there's the secret relationships that they like to
Right.
do. So that's not a problem there. I also got the impression, and I know Donna said in episode one something like, "Oh, my Travis made me watch," or her other son. I don't know if she has more than two sons. One of her sons made her watch the show, and then they watched them all together. So like she's seen the show. I don't
yeah.
think she's like she studied it hard and like really had an amazing strategy. I thought she was like maybe a casual viewer. Sorry if that's wrong, Donna, because obviously Donna's listening. And
well, of
so
course.
I got the impression, yeah,
Well, we know that
wasn't.
Donna's listening because she was using my tactics
Well,
against
that's true.
Michael,
Yes,
saying
that's
you're
right. You did say
pretending
that.
to, yeah.
So hi, Donna. Yeah, I thought she wasn't like a really cunning player who was gonna play this role the best.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that was my. I did have another thought and it's gone, but that was my main takeaway once we realized it was her. Was oh, shouldn't they have picked someone? Oh, and when in the UK Traitors, before we, the audience, before we knew who the secret traitor was, one of the things I kept saying was, well, surely this is the first time they're trying out this new mechanic. They don't want an early banishment. They don't want them to get caught. They're gonna pick someone who they think will be really good at it. And I guess Fiona was good at it until she went mad. So she was good up until episode 4 or whatever it was. And then she
Lost her damn mind.
like lost her damn mind, to quote you.
Yeah.
But it feels like they didn't consider that when picking Donna. They didn't consider we really need to pick someone who's going to pull this one off.
Right.
I think what they maybe thought was, yeah, Donna is. Oh, they'll all see her as like the maternal, motherly figure. Oh, she's old. They'll all be quite nice to her, and they'll think she's really sweet, and they'll underestimate her. But actually, and this is not. I'm not being mean about Donna. Donna seemed actually she seems like quite an unusual character. Like she seemed quite odd to me. Like she was very quiet and she didn't seem really sort of bubbly and vivacious and wanted to get to know everyone.
I suspect part of that is looking back that she was the secret traitor. I mean,
Yeah.
on top of everything else that she had working against her, she had that and she didn't want to give it away.
Right. So she wasn't able to be the sweet older lady. She actually just came across as a bit odd and too quiet. Yeah, and just a bit strange. So she just and she I like you talked about on the podcast with your co-host, I was surprised it was a landslide vote against her in that second banishment that I was really surprised at. I can't believe more people didn't go for Michael, and I have so many thoughts on him. He's a fucking lunatic, is my main thought. I don't think Michael's ever going to listen to this, so I'm not scared to say that. He's a psycho. Like that guy's
And an
nuts.
asshole. Yes.
And again, you alluded to this in the podcast that there must have been more. I think to the discussion about. I think she must have done more very obvious things that made them all vote for her.
Yeah.
That they didn't give away to us to make us get a bit more of a surprise when it actually was her. So, like, I can't believe I think, did every single person vote for her apart from her? I think it was like almost unanimous.
I'd have to look at
Maybe
my
there were one or
notes.
two different.
Hold on, I actually have my notes here. Nope, that's after them. Nope. I forgot the mission came after the round table, so I had
Yeah, it was a
had it in the
strange
wrong
one.
order. Donna voted for Michael. Donna. Michael voted for Jam Jam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it would have been a lot easier just to write everybody but Michael and Donna vote for Donna in my notes, but I didn't know that as I was watching. I just typed them all out. So, yeah, only Michael and Donna herself did not vote for her. So
Yeah.
it has been theorized. I do not personally subscribe to this theory that because she had to sit out most or all of the
Oh,
mission,
the mission, yeah.
the previous mission, Now, someone did find a picture of her. I said she was not there at all. Someone online did find a picture of her. I wish I could remember who it was. Sorry if you're listening. They said that showed her like all bundled up. You could barely tell it was her, and pushing or pretend to push the thing there. So I think and then she disappeared after that. So I think she may have tried and been like, no, or they pulled her. So it's possible they were also, the theory is, on top of everything else, they wanted someone who could help them earn money.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say something else, but
no.
Okay.
That she was like medevac, essentially. That's.
No, I wonder if the fact that she wasn't there for a lot of the mission, just on practical terms, they just all had more time to get to know one another, and they know her even less. But also, might they have, this is ridiculous and they would never do this, but might some of those players have thought, that's really weird that Donna's not here. I wonder if she's off doing secret confessionals because she's a traitor. I don't know. I mean, I don't think they would think that, but you never know.
No. But the other thing is, if this were the regular version, the civilian version, I could see that. But we've already seen these players don't necessarily care so much about the money. They may say that.
Yeah.
And some of them do more than others. I mean, if you're a reality star, you don't get regular huge checks.
Yeah.
Okay, Jam got his $1 million check, which, was knocked down to 600,000 after after taxes. It's not a pittance, but he's not like the housewives getting paid regularly, presuming their shows are still on. I don't know if they are. He's, I doubt that Rob Roush is routinely getting paid big money. I mean, maybe he will now, but so I think for some of them, the money matters more.
Yeah.
But is it so much more that they're going to kick out Donna specifically? Probably not. There was already a ton of suspicion on her. Yeah. And several of them even said when voting her out, even if you're not a traitor, we have to get this done, or else it's going to be hanging over us, forever. There's too much suspicion on you. We have to figure it out one way or the other.
Yeah.
And so I don't even remember. Oh, okay. So
there was a Sun article where you're going to mention. So
this is the U.S. Sun, which I believe has approximately the same credibility as the Sun in the UK, aka zero.
Almost nothing. Yeah.
Take that for what it's worth. But this came out, and it apparently was a big hit in a part of social media that I do not go to because they believe conspiracy theories and they, and it's owned by a Nazi. But apparently a source inside production said that the production team as a whole are highly upset that the twist did not go well and that the audience did not like it. Oh, I remember what I was going to say before I get to this. Well, after I get to it, I'll go back. I think when they made Donna the secret traitor, I think what they were figuring was she can at least make it past 2 banishments for the reasons you were talking about. And then we will get the big media pop when everyone finds out, oh, look, Donna Kelsey was the secret traitor. And that will come after either they would reveal it at the end of episode 3 so that they could have everyone talking about it and pump numbers up, or it would come right after it happens in episode 4. One way or the other. They were thinking they would get the big media pop of, look, Taylor Swift's mother-in-law to be was the secret traitor. What a great job she's done.
Yeah, right.
So getting back to this, according to this insider, allegedly, they were originally planning on making it a gamer, but then something changed and they gave it to Donna. Now, what changed? I suspect it was something like I just mentioned. It could have been someone in Bravo. Well, not Bravo, someone in Peacock, NBC, said, you've got Donna Kelsey there and you're not making her a special role? Come on, what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah.
And so yeah, the source also mentioned it will not happen again, and the gamer will be a traitor in the future. But who knows if there'll be a secret traitor? And yes, I suppose a gamer will be a traitor, probably because they made zero gamers traitors,
Yeah.
which I think I talked about this a bit, and I will in a couple of my upcoming mini Y blank losts as well. But I understand why they didn't put a gamer in, because there are too many people saying, "Oh, we know there's at least one gamer."
Yeah.
And now you can't do that in theory.
Yeah.
Of course, they could just say, well, there's no way they're doing no gamers 2 seasons in a row. Uh, so the problem is, it was like making the gamers sacrifices,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
by putting 2 housewives in there.
Yeah.
So,
And look at the murders so far. I mean,
right.
that's what's
Yes.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just, they clearly made a mistake. Whether it's true that they regret that mistake and they weren't originally planning to do it that way, I don't know. It's the Sun. They could have found anyone to say that.
Mm.
But I mean, it sounds like it could be true.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I could kind of believe that. But we've talked an awful lot about it. We might end up overlapping some of the questions, but maybe not. There's all sorts of things that people are asking here. I'm going to move to Stacy from Instagram, who says, I think the UK version was better in that the secret traitor knew who the others were. So I think you disagree with that, David. Even though it
Yes.
only went one way, they still had some feelings of a secret team and potential allies. I feel bad for Mama Kay because she was already an outsider to that world and had no prior connections, and she was kind of hung out to dry, which ultimately resulted in her banishment with a fizzle. Who knows how it would have turned out if she was a faithful and they'd picked someone with allies, or if she had known who the others were and could have felt more confident. Also, thank you. I don't know anyone who watches the show, and I always want to join in the conversation when I listen to your podcasts. Thank you, Stacey.
Now you are in the conversation now.
Yay! And then along similar lines, I have an email from Jackie, also about Donna. Donna was at a particular disadvantage in the secret traitor role because many players knew who she was prior to the game, and they had a pretty clear idea of what her disposition was like prior to becoming a traitor. Yet she had no natural alliances, given she's not a reality TV person, so she was completely unprotected. US producers put her in a really tough position, which seems like a misstep. I'm sure she brought in a large audience of Swifties who may not have watched the show otherwise, and probably won't now. I think Donna did an admirable job, given all the obstacles she had to overcome. So yeah, maybe it was unsurmountable for Donna she wasn't a strong enough player to be able to manage it, I guess.
I mean, I think it was. I think that she might have been fine as a faithful without the added stress. She might have been fine as a regular trader with some support to that stress, but making her a secret traitor who knows nothing and nobody knows her, oh God, that's just the highest level of stress you could possibly give her.
Yeah. And maybe I should say now, you like that the secret traitor doesn't know who the other traitors are.
Yes.
I don't know what I think. I think I do like the UK one. I think I do like the secret traitor. I know maybe it gives them an even more unfair advantage. So I guess that's why some people think that's not
Right.
ideal.
And that's the same for that. That's exactly it for me. That um, they and I talked about this before. They could, if they didn't like the person who was a traitor. Like, let's say Jam Jam was the secret traitor and Michael was a regular traitor, and they knew. Then Jam Jam could have given only suggestions that would implicate Michael. Now, in that case, I'd be all for it. But, under normal circumstances, I would say, well, that's not really fair that they can do that.
Yeah.
And so it does give them a bit too much power.
Although the opposite could be true, or maybe not the opposite, maybe that's not the right word. Earlier we talked about how maybe it's inevitable that when the secret traitor joins the other traitors, there's some sort of conflict, there's a tension,
Hmm.
they've not been together the whole time, the secret traitors has more power, and that creates jealousy or whatever. But maybe the secret traitor, knowing who the other traitors are, at least gives them the chance to try and do what they can to help the traitors
I
if
mean, they could.
if
They
they feel
could.
that that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
So it might encourage them to help sway things away from the real traitors, make sure that they don't. I know that one person can only do so much, but
Right.
try to defend them when they can, and then when they join, go, hey, that's why I was helping you. I spoke to this person and I made sure that they swayed away from you. So I guess it creates
I
that
mean,
opportunity.
remember, lots of people thought Harriet was the secret traitor because of the way she came after Hugo and
Yeah,
just,
including
you
me.
know. So, I mean, let's say that she was. Would that have been fair to Hugo? I don't know,
Yeah,
not
I guess
really.
not. Yeah, sure. But one of our listeners pointed that out. They said, "Oh, it's really unfair that because I think they also thought that Harriet was the secret
Right.
traitor at that point. So that's really unfair. She got to she's banished Hugo, and that's because she knew he was a traitor.
Hmm.
But my response was, this was on YouTube. A regular traitor could do that as well as a secret
Could, but
traitor.
they wouldn't know that what was happening. Or they would know what was happening. They would know it was traitor on traitor violence, whereas
Like
he didn't know.
the traitor would know that it was
Yes.
another traitor coming for them.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
And they at least have to be a little afraid that, you'll have a very awkward turret.
But yeah, turret afterwards when you have to face them if it all goes wrong.
Right.
Sure. I'm going to move to a comment from Focused Chaos on Instagram. Great name. Focused Chaos says, it feels a bit weird to me that the secret traitor means that the traitors don't have all the information about everyone's statuses. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're talking about right now, especially in the US version where the secret traitor kind of has less power than the other traitors. But one thing I do like is the murders in plain sight and the other tasks encouraging the traitors to communicate outside of the turret. So I was thinking, and now Focus Chaos has imagined a new scenario, a new mechanic. So another listener sent me an email like this saying, "Hey, why don't you do this kind of thing? What about two teams of traitors rather than three traitors and one secret traitor? Say two pairs who know each other's identities but only go to the turret with their team. Maybe one team shortlists and the other murders, and they could alternate, or they murder on different nights or something. They could communicate in the day and find out decisions of the other team that could create trust or distrust. Yeah. So a few people have suggested this to me. What about two teams of traitors who don't get to meet at night? Sort of forces them to have to talk during the day and maybe get caught.
So they do know who the other teams are?
Focus Chaos does want them to know who the other team is. Yeah.
Okay.
But you have to rely on. Yeah, you don't make the murder decisions together.
At this point, I'm going to go back to something that you said earlier this season in one of the podcasts. I don't remember which was, it's only season 4. We don't need to be adding so many twists in.
Yeah, this is maybe a bit too complex for me at this point. But
I mean,
for me,
Survivor,
the format works
yeah,
almost entirely, so I'm happy with the way it is pretty much.
Yeah. Survivor's going to season 50. Yes, there are more twists added. Yes, people complain about them. But do you know how many seasons it took before even the immunity idol came up?
Mm.
And all this other stuff?
Yeah.
They're just overdoing it. Why? You're already at the top of the ratings. Why are you doing this? I mean, I guess they even went higher on the ratings, so it's just going to encourage at least the UK version to keep messing with it. But it's just calm down. Just play the game. Let the game play out. It's like we talked about, or at least I talked about with Traitors Canada. They had twists, but they were not game-changing twists.
Mm-hmm.
They were little things that messed with the players, like, Oh, you thought when I tapped your shoulder that meant you were a traitor. No, haha, fooled you. It meant you aren't one. Well, that changes
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah,
Or we're going to have this murder out here in the cemetery while everybody stands around blindfolded.
yeah,
Okay, it changes a little bit that the traitors can't really talk, but other than that, it doesn't really change it. They're not whole game changing twists.
yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah, I agree. But it's too early to make these huge changes. That's a bit too much for me. But maybe down the line they do something like that. Eventually, way down the line. Uh, David, you sort of almost accidentally quoted Taylor Swift there when you said "calm down," because Taylor has a song called "You Need to Calm Down," and one of our listeners, and I'm sorry I didn't write your name down. Somebody on YouTube let me know that Donna actually quoted Taylor Swift in an episode. She said, after finding out the group that's up for murder, she said, "Don't get mad, get even." I'm not saying that Taylor Swift is the first person to like coin that phrase, but
I think she
it
is, obviously.
she does sing it in a song called Vigilante on her album Midnights, a fave of mine. So that made me laugh.
I mean,
Didn't notice Donna
did
doing
anyone say they have bad blood with someone else?
that. At some point, someone's going to say it. Come on. Next up, I have an email from Jackie. And actually, before I come to Jackie, I've just remembered something. Literally whilst we're recording, David, I've had a message from Magiker, who's often on the podcast with us, because I sent Magiker a secret mission earlier. I said I needed his expert advice. Magiker watches other versions in different languages from all over the place, much more than I have. And on the episode 2 and 3 podcast for US, you were wondering whether any of the players have ever not attempted a murder in plain sight,
Yes.
or a secret mission, and or that last comment just mentioned it as well. So I asked Magiker, hey, do you know of any other seasons where that just hasn't happened? They failed to do it, they didn't do it properly, or they just decide not to attempt it? His simple answer is not that he can think of. As far as he knows, they always try and do it, and they always do it. So that's a really anticlimactic answer, but maybe that's quite interesting that maybe production or like they've set it up so that they're going to make it happen. It's not really as difficult as it seems.
Especially this time in the US with the like penalty hanging over them. It was almost as if they expected them not to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if you don't do it, you won't meet the secret traitor and you'll have no control next time. And it's like,
right.
Well, dang, you really want to make sure that this happens.
Yeah.
Not to mention, of course, that was a terrible murder in plain sight, because it really wasn't in plain sight. It was
it was
hidden.
it was just
But
a
I went
different
over
way
that.
of deciding who
Right.
you're going to murder, like you always do.
Right. It's bad when the person who's being murdered can identify that there's a murder in plain sight happening,
Right.
and
right.
yet can't do a damn thing to stop it.
Yeah. And also that conga line was insane. I also, like Rob, would have immediately been like, something is going on. Why the
So
hell are they doing a conga line?
I did see some comments from a few players, including Candace and Jam Jam, that there had been talk of a conga line previously. So it wasn't
Okay.
like she just came up with this out of nowhere.
Okay. Okay.
And other people joined in because it was like, what if it's a murder in plain sight and you get murdered if you don't join
If you
in
don't
the
join
line?
the line, okay.
Or
sure.
what, And so, I mean, Rob was smart to keep multiple people out, because
Yeah.
then it couldn't be the only one. But it could have been anything. It could have been second person in the line. It could have been, first person to drop out. So,
Yeah.
but I think,
Okay.
just in general, we should all heed Rob's advice. Watch out, a conga line.
Right. I
Or
actually
hide. A conga line. Hide. That was it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, to be honest, if anyone ever started a conga line around me, I would also immediately hide because it's just
Yeah.
so uncomfortable. I noticed something else in the film. This is just a little thing, but it did make me think. When Love Island Rob, he gets the card and he takes it to the fireplace, the way it was filmed felt very staged. Like it was so
it
perfectly
100%
placed
was.
in. And the back of the card was facing the camera so that we didn't know who he took. But then in the next episode, he's putting it in the other way, and we see who it is. So they quite clearly gave them a bit of time. I don't know if they called them back, like, all go off in your cars one by one, And once all the faithful had gone, they were like, right, we're going to just film that scene again with you, Rob. Turn the card round, do it this way. Like, it was absolutely filmed nicely to capture it. And even I think taking the cards quickly out from behind the painting, it was such a closed in shot that I thought, there's a person there filming him doing this very carefully to get the good shot. So yeah, I thought when you spot those things, it ruins the illusion a little bit.
Yeah. I also noticed that it was the back, and then suddenly it was the front, and it's like,
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should have mentioned that on the podcast. But yeah.
Well, we need to keep some content for these special bonus episodes.
That's right.
Listeners, well done if you noticed that too. This is the email from Jackie that I mentioned 5 minutes ago and then got excited about something else. Jackie said, I think the US secret traitor is at a huge disadvantage not knowing who the other traitors are. I imagine it would be really hard to make strategic decisions in that position. At least in the UK version, Fiona had a chance to decide whether she wanted to align with the other traitors before they knew her identity. Forming alliances with the turret traitors in advance might be an effective strategy to avoid early banishment and demonstrate you're a team player. I guess that's kind of what I was saying earlier. Another disadvantage the secret traitor faces, do not having the time to bond with them. There's also a sense of resentment among the turret traitors. You said this, David, towards the secret traitor who gets to choose the shortlist. Having an alliance with the turret traitors in advance might help the secret traitor choose a list that is less likely to frustrate them. So Jackie thinks... Oh, and Jackie goes on, actually, sorry, there's more. In either case, I think the odds of making it to the end as a secret traitor is slim, because essentially everyone is against you to start, other traitors included. Although the secret traitor twist was kind of fun for the audience, I don't think it was a great addition to evolve the game. That said, the show needs to balance those two tensions, entertaining TV and interesting gameplay. I'm hoping this role was a one-time twist. So maybe that leads to the question, do you want to see it again, David? Do you want Secret Traitor back?
I don't, but if you're the UK production, how can you say no after those numbers?
Yeah.
I don't know how you can. Now, the US could say no, but since they usually do the same thing, it would be odd, I think, for them not to have it again. And so, maybe they want to have it again and this time make it someone else and tweak it a bit. And who knows, I mean.
What will be interesting, I guess, is to see whether or not they bring it back. Well, the players next season assume it's happening again. Yes. And that might feed into their theorizing and their speculation. That maybe that person's the secret traitor, and there is no secret traitor. So I wonder if future players will think it's happening.
Oh, it won't be maybe. They'll say that person is the secret traitor. I know. I'm 100%.
Especially, well, I was going to say especially the traitors, but you would assume the traitors had been told there was a secret traitor.
Yes.
But maybe some of the faithful.
Yeah.
This is from Susie Q Grams on YouTube. I was wondering, since the secret traitor did not know who the other traitors were, do you think they might have had a twist planned, this would be for the US one, to turn them back to a faithful? I can't see any other reason for them not to know. So, had Donna survived to episode 4... Well, no, because the traitors were told you're going to find out. Right. But even if they found out who it was there ever a possibility that Donna was going to become a faithful again?
I don't think so. Although finally it would, catch the show up to people saying, I am and always have been faithful.
There would be a reason to say that. Cause, I like the idea, Susie Q, but I don't think so. I don't think they'll have traitors become faithful again. I think, David, you've already outlined maybe some of the reasons why the secret traitor doesn't know who the main traitors are. It is to sort of level things up a little bit, perhaps. Right. This is from Tom on Instagram, who is questioning, I wonder if UK Series 4 was filmed first. So he's saying if UK Series 4 was filmed first, if they fed back to US Season 4, who were then going on to film afterwards, that the secret traitor is more effective if the secret traitor doesn't know who the identity of the main traitors are. He says, I've still only watched episode 1 so far, so who knows if that theory is even true. I don't know. It could be that, yes, if UK was first, maybe they decided, hey, when it comes to film in US and 3 weeks from now, let's change it a little bit. I don't know what the answer is to that, but perhaps we did have other listeners asking questions about this before on the podcast. Like, do we think they film one of the seasons and that informs changes that they make to the next one? There's all sorts of reasons that they change between UK and US. And actually, David, you were talking about this a little bit on the US 2 and 3 recap episode. That although yes, it's Studio Lambert as the production company who are, it's all of their employees. It's the people that they contract to make the show, the directors, the runners, the people on set, the camera people, blah 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 blah. The broadcasters from each country also have input into what they want to happen. So the BBC commissioners will be saying, we think our BBC audience want to see this and this and this, and it doesn't really work for us if this happened. Whereas Peacock in the US will be like, US audiences love this and they like this and we want to see this. So Studio Lambert will make changes based on what audience each one's for and what the channels are telling them they want to happen. So it's not, they don't have complete control just to make the exact same show twice.
I was just looking on Wikipedia to see, does it say when the filming is? Because like Survivor, it says for each season.
Exact dates and things.
Yeah, and I'm seeing the premiere. I'm seeing the announcement when it was announced. I am not. Well, okay. So Peacock announced the 23 original cast members on social media on June 13th. Okay.
Okay.
So that is right when filming began.
Right. As far as I know, then
13th.
UK was second. I'm sure UK was like July, August. So I actually do think the US was first, if that's true, which is interesting. And I really should, I've worked with some people who have worked on the Traitors, and I never press them for information because I don't want to ruin anything, and I don't want to make them feel like, oh God, here's the Traitors podcast guy asking us about the Traitors.
Yeah.
But I should ask them just at least like, hey, what one's first? So next time, if I end up working with someone who's worked on Traitors, next year, or this year I should say, I'll ask, hey, what one's first? Is it US or UK? I'll try and get the timelines right. I have a question here that I'm kind of moving away from.
It says filming for this. Wikipedia says filming began in June, but it does not say when in June.
Oh, for UK.
UK.
Okay, yeah. Maybe it's the very end of June.
Yeah, I'm looking at the source article.
David's deep in investigative journalism mode.
That's right. Live while you're watching, you get to see me scroll. How exciting!
I'll put the Jeopardy music in here while we wait.
So far, I'm not seeing anything. Who are the contestants? Yeah, we know.
Oh, that's a little crossover there, David. Do you know that? Jeopardy is a very American thing to us, but just last year they did launch like a UK version of Jeopardy.
Oh.
Do you know who hosted it?
Nope.
There's a Traitors connection. It's Stephen Fry. He hosted the UK Jeopardy show. Yeah. I didn't see him in it, but they do use like that music that's very recognizable.
Yes.
Whilst David is investigating, I'll move on to the next question. This is about the missions in the two shows. Most of the missions end up being the same or very similar. So this is, I think this is Maria Fraser on Instagram, and Maria is the listener who used your advice, David, to suss that Fiona was likely the secret traitor because she was playing dumb.
Sorry, this article is not helpful at all. Filming for the fourth series took place in Scotland across 4 weeks in June. No, it didn't. It doesn't take 4 weeks to film it. And if the US version started June 13th, it couldn't have been 4 weeks. So clearly this article combines the two of them. So yes, never mind. It was not helpful there. And so
we'll get to the bottom one day and we'll feedback.
But if like you said, it was US first, they may have seen what happened with Donna and been like, oof, we need to change that so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, could be.
What can we do? Maybe if the secret traitor knows the traitors, or maybe that'll help so they can do some of the things you were talking about.
Yeah, maybe.
So, yeah.
But we'll still pick someone that looks really like Donna. This is, Maria on Instagram said, I actually liked seeing the missions twice, like in UK and then again in US. Maybe I'm crazy, or maybe the missions are getting better. Seeing the differences in what the editors and the players think is important, different strategies, and also how the cage thing works when it's not raining was fun. In the US version, the timer thing for the chariot was a big deal. Also, they had a harder time navigating the boats in the first mission, and Johnny fell in the lake, of course. Also, Johnny said that he had a fear of water, which was hilarious to me.
Yes.
Again, like you said, frozen water, all good.
Yeah.
Room temperature, fear.
Well, and that wasn't room temperature. From what I heard, it was closer to frozen. I mean, you're
any
from
temperature
up there.
below freezing is what I meant.
Yeah.
They also had one boat make an alliance with the other two boats, so no one would put them in the graves. UK players didn't think of anything like that, I don't think.
They had one boat twice make an alliance. Yeah.
Yeah. Double crossing one another.
Yeah.
The pleas at the trees in episode 3 of US reminded me of Thompson pleading in Canada. I now can't remember who Thompson was in Canada. I'm sorry, Thompson, whoever you are. Though I preferred this because they all took different angles, which was entertaining to see. So yeah, Maria's saying actually seeing the different ways that players approach the missions in the two different versions is fun.
And also, like in UK, if you got a shield token in the mission, where they were pushing the thrones, if you got a shield token, you just took it. There was no trading off. There was no handing it to other people. There was no Michael Rappaport being a complete a-hole and screaming at people because he didn't get one,
Yeah.
So
yeah, they just ran, put it in.
Right.
Off you get.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I did. I mean, I guess the main difference for me is the way that the cage mission ended with the US players. I noticed when Alan said it, "You'll be tied to a tree tonight," and I thought, oh, they're going to like suspend the cage from a tree. Then no, they are literally tied to a tree with a and they've obviously filmed those like totally separately. Like they, the players can't be there at the same time. It was very dramatic. It was very funny hearing them like beg for their lives. And like Maria says, the different approaches they took, like some of them were just like, you'll regret this. Whereas I think Eric was sort of trying to be like, I think he was trying to say that he would, if they wanted, they could recruit him in future. Like, so that was his way of like begging them not to murder him. So that was interesting to see, yeah.
And then who was it? It was the oh gosh, what's her name? Mora. Said something to the effect of, "You've already made your decision. I'm not even going to bother."
Oh, I don't. Not Mora, was it? Mora wasn't one of the cage.
I don't remember who it was now.
Someone else.
Yes.
There's the top chef.
For some reason, I see her.
There's...
I see her having that attitude, I guess. But...
I have also forgotten who the other player was. Sorry, other player.
It was Kristen.
Kristen. Oh, Kristen. Yes. That's her name. I have a final few questions connected to the casting in the shows. And, well, one of them is sort of casting and then moves into different territory, but we'll start with casting. This is from Tara.
Before we do that, there was one other thing about the secret traitor that has been rumored.
Oh.
So there's this rumor circulating on social media, and we know if the Sun is not a good source, definitely social media is, that Fiona was tipsy, and that's why she blew up and made up and started saying that that Rachel never had that conversation with Amanda, et cetera, et cetera. And then, so Zach Wolf mentioned on social media in this discussion that I don't know if the rules are the same in the UK, but in the US, they're limited to one drink. So, if that's true, she would have to be a serious lightweight. Yeah. And then he gave a couple of sources for where he found this out that, seemed very legitimate. So.
Um, as far as I mean, I don't know if that's true or not.
Hmm.
Fiona could maybe sue whoever's saying this for defamation. I don't know. I think they are also fairly controlled in how much they give players to drink, judging by other reality shows in the UK. Like I know that Big Brother are pretty strict on them now
Hmm.
because of like 15, 20 years ago, the crazy stuff that happened on Big Brother UK because they let the players drink as much,
Oh,
encouraged
that
them to drink as much as possible, and the shit that happened was unbelievable. That they're so wary now. You know, times have changed.
I mean,
They're much.
that's nothing compared to US Big Brother, where a guy got drunk and was holding a knife to a
Oh my
woman's
God,
throat saying
Jesus.
what would you do if I killed you now? Or words to that effect, and
Oh God.
yeah.
Was he like then removed from the
Oh yeah.
game?
He was
Okay.
removed and so were the knives. Now, not only do they not get much alcohol, although they do give them alcohol when they feel that they're being boring. You know that there's that meme of someone that's sitting there with a stick pointing at something saying, "Come on, do something." That's when alcohol comes in. It's still very limited,
Yeah.
but enough to at least get them to do something. And but yes, now to get a knife, you have to go to the storage room and say,
Mm.
"I need a knife to cut the steaks."
Yeah,
And then
okay.
they give you the knife, and you go cut the steaks, and you bring the knife back immediately.
Yeah.
So it was funny when this particular season. See, this would be great if we were playing the Lion game. You'd have no idea if I were making any of this up. Uh, the This particular season, there was one young woman who was trying to open a bag of M&Ms, and even though they're the Ziploc type,
Hmm.
if you get those really close down, like if it's those are hard to open, and she
Yeah,
was
yeah.
pulling on it and tugging on it, and it was hilarious. And I made a video about it, and it was very funny. But there were a lot of people who clearly did not know this were saying in the comments, "God, just go get a scissors." She couldn't get a scissors. They wouldn't
No
give her
scissors.
a scissors for this.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah,
They haven't resorted to that in UK Big Brother yet. I think they have knives and scissors, but that's interesting. I didn't know that.
yeah.
But yeah, I think across reality TV now these days in the UK, we do see them drinking wine in the castle, but I think it's limited. I mean, I guess you could take everybody else's drink and be like, "Oh, do you not want this? I'll have it." And maybe, but I don't know.
At
I
that
don't know.
moment, you'd
Fiona
be
didn't
like,
look.
"No, I don't think so either."
She seemed
Uh,
in her
I
right
think,
mind to me. Like, and I know
well,
you keep saying she's out of her mind, but
yeah,
out of her damn mind. I
yeah.
don't. I don't know. I think she just made a bad call, and she thought she had some master move that was actually gonna just
Well,
blow up in her
and
face.
it is interesting because in the YouTube comments for that episode, a few people noted that she claimed on the Traitors Uncloaked that she did it as strategy, and she didn't really believe that Rachel had
Yes.
made it up.
Yeah,
Now,
she said
first of
this.
all, one, I don't believe her.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
know if I believe that.
I think she's trying to backtrack and
Yeah,
make it look like she had a plan. But
yeah, yeah.
two, that makes it worse because it's one thing if you just make a mistake, you lose your mind in the heat of the game and all of that. But if you're actually saying you did this on purpose, I, no, that was horrible, horrible strategy.
Yeah,
And I would rather have someone say over and over again that they lost their mind than believe that this was good strategy, because it tells me she didn't understand strategy at all, which I mean would put her in the same boat as Donna. But uh, yeah, it was just such. Either way, it was bad, but it was worse if she did it on purpose.
yeah. I also think she's maybe just saying that now so that because she thinks it makes her not look silly, silly in the British term. Like, oh, of
Makes
course
her look
I
sillier.
believed her. But maybe it's had the opposite effect. Yes, some questions about casting, particularly in the US. Tara or Taraby on Instagram says, Hi Tara B. How long did it take you? How long did it take for you to get sick of the gamer versus housewives trope? I love the show, and sadly, it took me about 10 minutes. I wish producers would stop this crap, or just make it Traitors, gamers versus housewives, and have teams. Brackets. I don't actually want that. Just play the game and stop with the team silliness. I'll need a massive amount of Botox after this season with the amount of cringe face I'll be giving. Otherwise, decent start, but it's not fireworks. Love the pod, been a fan from day one. And you've grown leaps and bounds. It's excellent. Yay! Thank you, Tara. So, does the players talking about gamers versus housewives annoy you, David? Is it just to be expected?
It's to be expected. If she gets that much Botox, she's going to look like Lisa Rinna. But every time I look at her smile, I can't even make my face do that. Yeah, it's kind of scary. But so I think it's just naturally going to happen. Because we've talked about this before. Part of this game is forming alliances.
Yeah.
And if you come in with natural alliances, then you're going to gravitate to them. The only way they can break that up is by having more similar groups. But that's not what Peacock wants. Peacock wants to promote NBC Bravo shows.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, look at who the Traitors are this season. Some people have suggested that's why the Traitors are who they are. 2 housewives and a Love Island person.
Yeah.
All NBC properties.
Right.
So I think it's just, I mean, if it were up to me, and this comes as a surprise to exactly nobody, it would be gamers versus gamers. There would be no housewives. Unless there are housewives who can demonstrate. Because people always say, well, Phaedra was good. Phaedra was good to a point. But most of them aren't. We will see how Candace does. I have very low hopes for Lisa based on what we've seen before. Well, not before, up to this point already. Like even the chess game. She had no clue what was going on. And Rob just eventually told her, and she's like, okay.
I'm in defense of Lisa. I'm going to say she's not doing as badly as I thought she would. I think at least if she's clueless, she'll just go along with what Rob suggests.
Right.
And actually that might just keep her out of trouble.
Well, that's
and I think
true.
like in the mission with the cages, at least she was like pretending to be really desperate for a shield and really annoyed. So I thought, well, I think she's maybe doing an okay job of making people think she's really faithful, and she's not been as extra as like Michael or anything. So I thought, she could have been doing worse. We'll see. I still don't think she's going to become the most iconic player ever, as she claims. No. But I think she's all right so far. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean so you would either need to add in like a whole other group. Like, don't just have one actor, one comedian, one randomly famous person. You need to add more of those, and mix it up more. And even though I hate to say it, that would mean, fewer I don't hate to say fewer housewives, but fewer gamers. But the thing is, there's a large chunk of this audience that watches for the gamers. There's a large chunk of the audience that watches for the housewives. They don't want to lose their audience, so they are going to keep going. I don't know how many housewives there are out there. Apparently, there's a never-ending supply of them.
Yeah, pretty much.
There are definitely a never-ending supply of gamers.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I guess it's just a matter of, it's always going to be there. It's going to need, you're going to need the players to not view it that way, but they're always going to view it that way because it just started happening that way, and I think it's going to be there forever.
Yeah, it is just the nature of what this version of the show right now in the US is, and maybe. I would suggest, the way to change it is to have a much more diverse cast of people from, like, one person from Survivor, one person from Big Brother, one from this show, one who's an athlete, one who's a TV host, one who's a comedian. Like, a huge bit, so that there aren't teams of people who all came from the same type of show. But, like you said, it brings in a big audience. Housewives is a hugely successful franchise, so Yeah, of course they're just gonna keep doing it. But
Right.
we have our civilian version coming later this year, which I'm really excited about. I don't know if it's filmed yet. I don't think it
They're
is
still
filmed
taking
yet.
applications.
Okay, so but I'm sure we'll see it before the end of the year, which I'm
I'm
looking forward to.
I'm not sure, but I'm
Oh,
hopeful.
okay. Okay, okay. David, do you have, this isn't really a question, just a funny observation from someone on Blue Sky who's
Yes,
mentioned,
JJ Bow on Blue
yes.
Sky said, and this kind of goes right along with what we're talking about. Why is the UK version so much better than the US version? The cackling of the housewives is as annoying as Kate. So
I mean,
I
I've
think
come
this
around on
person,
Kate.
yeah. Well, this person firmly stands with me, obviously, that um,
I weirdly learned to sort of embrace Kate and quite enjoy seeing her come back all the. If she, I will not be surprised if Kate Chastain randomly appears. If Kate Chastain had been the secret traitor, we didn't even know she was there, I wouldn't have been shocked.
she like that pulls off a Mission Impossible mask and says, I
Yeah.
was Donna Kelsey all the time.
So, but that comment did make me laugh. I have
I would say
yeah.
I would say to answer the question,
Oh
why
yeah,
is it better? It's better if you are looking for strategy.
yeah,
If you are looking for strategy, the people in the UK and in other civilian versions, they're there to win the money. They are there to play the game. In the US, often, not always, but often, they are there for TV time. And as we saw last season, we're at the end. Let's just split it.
yeah,
So, playing the game, declaring themselves winner was not, so much a big deal. They were like, we're all winners. We all get a participation trophy. So it's, yes, it is a better game in the UK, even the UK celebrity version, because they all wanted to play and they were
yeah,
playing for money for their charity, not, for themselves. And so, yes, it was important to them. And it's just completely different show. I will see arguments. I just saw one today where someone said, God, you guys got to get over being so upset that, there isn't enough strategy going on and that they're voting out the gamers. This isn't even a real game. It's just fun to watch. Da, da, da. Well, okay, that's your opinion. And I think I've said this. I think I've said this on maybe the episode 1 podcast. Uh, you know, we're here to discuss strategy mostly. It is what we do. It is what I have done for over 25 years.
yeah,
I can enjoy a show that's campy, but I'm probably not going to podcast about it in most cases.
sure,
So, there are different reasons that people watch. And don't yell at people for watching that way. I can say, like someone said, I want to bring Ian back. I was like, no, she had no clue what the game was and just wanted airtime. And then someone explained to me, social media explained to me that, oh, well, I think what that person was saying was not that they're strategic, but they just want to see them back. Yes, thank you. I know what they were saying. I just disagree that I want Ian back. I know why they want Ian back.
yeah,
I disagree with the reason, which is fine. I can understand their reason and still disagree with it. I'm not going to get on there and yell at them and say, you're the stupidest person ever for wanting Ian back, or for watching it for this reason. I understand it.
yeah,
But other people need to understand we do watch for strategy. There is strategy involved, whether or not you like it. And that's what we typically focus on here.
yeah. And in the UK right now, it's we're not even halfway through January, but already online I'm starting to see rumors, probably all completely incorrect, about the next UK celebrity cast. So people are saying, "Oh, I've heard it's this person. I've heard it's this person," and therefore then people coming up with their dream cast list for the next UK celebrity, which is like that's fine, that's good fun. I can't really be bothered making up people that I want to see.
I
I
mean,
don't
people
know
are
what the
doing that
point
for the
is.
US already. They're like, this is
Yeah,
the dream cast. As soon as Ian and Rob were gone, They were like,
Oh,
I need, this guy, which is fine. That's fun, and that's good. I want to see people that into it, that they're thinking about it like that.
yeah. I get it. I just sort of think, I don't know. I don't really know what the point of like
I mean, it's
people
who
ask me
they
all the
want to
time,
see.
Matthew, who's your dream cast list
Yeah.
for next? And I'm like, what's the point of me answering this question?
Right. Right.
Like,
That's
there
why I
are
won't do it either. But
tens of thousands of famous people.
yeah.
I'll pick some people that I like, and then what? Like, I just don't know what the point of that conversation
Right.
is. It's never going to be that.
Yeah.
So why what? But my point is that sometimes people say, "Oh, it'd be so funny if this famous person was on it. It'd be so
Hmm.
iconic if this person was on it." I'm like, yeah, probably, maybe they'd be quite funny for a bit, but I only get, I don't really want to see that reality star if they're just there to be funny
Hmm.
and like try and come up with great lines that are going to make them go viral. Like it'll be cool if they play the game and they're like exciting to
Right.
and they take it seriously and they get invested. Like that's what I want to see. But I don't just want to see like a famous person being there and being famous. Like
Right.
I don't
Which
know.
is
I can
what
watch them any other way.
most of the housewives to this point have been.
Yeah, like
Uh,
I'll just
you know,
watch The Housewives for that, which is fine.
right. Yeah. I mean, like even Dorinda. I didn't want to see Dorinda back
Yeah,
because of how she behaved in the first episode last season and then in the reunion where she was all about just trying to get TV time. I was like, I don't want to see her back. Why is she coming back this season after 3 episodes? I mean, one, I barely know she's there, so that's good. But two, she hasn't been doing that. I do think she's sort of trying to play the game.
yeah, yeah. She's
And
trying to be quieter, I think, this time
right.
around. And
And even Portia, in her short time there, was trying to play the game. She did an interview where she said, yeah, she had only seen a little of it from before when Phaedra was on,
yeah,
but she dove into it. Now, how much did that help her? Well, you'll have to check out my mini Why Portia Lost to find out. But, uh, at least she tried, and she wasn't like Ian, who was like, what's happening? Who am I? Where am I? Can I wear this dress now?
yeah. I don't. I do, and I don't understand why Dorinda's back. Like, I just couldn't care less about her, and that's not. I don't know anything about her, but that's why I don't care because I'm like, who is this person? Like, okay, she got eliminated first last time, big deal. Like, lots of people
Well,
got
then bring
eliminated
Rob
first
back
on
next
shows.
time.
Yeah, like you don't just always bring back the person that got eliminated.
Right.
I'm just like, is she that famous that they're desperate to have her back? I have no idea who this person is, and I know some of the housewives. Like, I know who Lisa is. Like, just because she's evolved beyond just that TV show, she's become this social media pop culture person. Dorinda, who? Yeah, I just am baffled that they brought her back. Like, who cares, really? Does anyone care that much? I would say sorry, Dorinda, but I'm not sorry. She's
Yeah.
never going to hear this or care. I'm also punching up. She's worth millions of dollars, I'm sure. My final, unless you have other comments beyond this, I've got a final email from Carla, and Carla has just a couple of funny points to make. One of them, actually, you already covered on the podcast before on your episode 2 and 3 podcast. So Carla says, I forgot how extra the US version is. Or is it getting more extra as the seasons go on? Either way, wowzers. Number 2, US version seems to do a bit more for the TV audience. For example, when selecting the traitors, Alan would be much more theatrical. He would walk around and lift his hand to tap someone, only to let his hand fall again.
I think Claudia did that a couple times.
Maybe she
too.
did, yeah. She might have
I
done.
think she did.
And the next, there's a final point here from Carla, but I have to read it in a different accent, and you'll find out why in a moment. That Carla says, "They're my thoughts so far, but what I really wanted to say is this. During episode 2, when Alan tells the round table that the time for talking is up, Michael reaches across Dorinda, takes a water glass and drinks out of it. Dorinda reacts, but it's not acknowledged in the show. What happened here? Was Michael out of water in his own glass? And if so, why not just get Natalie's water? It's closer. Did he think it was Jam Jam's water and it was a power play? Carla's from Australia and said, P.S. If you read this out, you must do so with an appropriately Australian accent. So there was my best Australian accent, Carla. And Carla says, P.P.S. What's happening with Alan's costume in this episode? Futuristic space traitor leader? That could apply to any episode because every one of Alan's costumes is
Oh
insane.
yeah.
So, thank you, Carla. But yeah, it's funny. I read that and then I listened to you guys on the podcast and you did
Mhm.
notice the weird. I didn't spot it. My answer, why did Michael grab her glass? Because he's a lunatic. That's why.
Yes.
He's insane.
I mean, I'm sure
Um,
he ran out of water, and after
yes.
spouting off for all that time, he was parched, and he was like, "Oh, she hasn't been drinking out of this," or something. But
Yeah. But I would agree for first based on the first three episodes of US, yes, it's very extra. It's I mean Alan just is 50% of that. So
right,
and he's fun. I like him. He keeps winning the Emmy now for best host. I'm not complaining, but he's so I'd love to go back and watch like the first couple of episodes of US season one and see how much more is Alan doing now. Like he's,
oh, I
I guess
I think
because the
he's
show's,
doing yes.
yeah, because
I
it's a
think
hit
yeah,
and he's won the Emmys. He's just going so wild as
yeah.
the host. It's almost
I mean,
ridiculous.
we see it with Karine in Canada too. I mean,
Yeah,
her costumes have gotten more and more
yeah, yeah,
outlandish.
crazy.
Wearing a purse on her chest, for God's sake. Um, so so
Uh,
yeah, I think they just keep going more and more, and then Claudia's here with her turtleneck and bangs.
Yeah, yeah. I do again. I do like some of I like the tarot card things they're using throughout the season. It's just quite cool
Mhm.
little technique of doing different missions and stuff. It's fun. Uh, David, I do you have unless you have any final thoughts on sort of
Nope,
US versus UK in general? We've probably covered it all.
I think
Uh,
so. We've
you
certainly gone a
mentioned
lot
your
longer. I thought this was going to be a 45-minute podcast. So, I
we have lots to say, and one of our listeners emailed, maybe it was one of the people that I read out there saying, "Hey, I've been listening for a long time. There was an episode way back when you and David said, we really ought to make these shorter." And I thought, no, make them longer. So someone likes the long episodes. All right.
good.
David, you mentioned your Why Blank Lost series. Maybe you could tell us a bit more about that and where else we can find you on social media.
So that series is a podcast that I started as an article, which, when I was covering all the way back, starting in Survivor 2. And so, but now I sometimes uh, apply it. Well, even back then, I applied it to other shows. And so I decided that normally it's based on a set of rules that I have written for that particular show.
Yeah.
For a long time, I didn't do it for Traitors because I was like, I'm going to have to sit down and write rules that, are mostly the same, but not quite the same, like scheme and plot, but don't scheme and plot too much. And, pretend to be nice and all those things. Oh, most of those apply, but there's some specific Traitors things. And I was like, But I just decided, you know what? For this season of the Traitors US, I'm going to jump in and do it and see what happens. And so, yes, the first one should be posted by the time this podcast is posted. It will be a race between me and Matthew to see who can post first. And it will be on my TikTok and YouTube channel at David Bloomberg TV. And you'll be able to see it'll be why Portia lost. I know Ian was out first, but I just started rolling on Portia and kept going. And it is about, talking about making things longer for when I was doing these for like these mini versions for other Survivor shows. It was like 2 and 3 minutes. This one's 5.5 minutes right from the get. She's the first person out. So I don't expect them to get much longer than that, quite honestly. I think why Ian lost and why Rob lost will probably be much shorter as
Yeah.
examples. But uh, so yes, you can find those, like I said, where I'm on my video channels. And I'm also, other podcasting. Right now, I'm podcasting mostly here. I will be recording a special RHAP Survivor 50 preview podcast. I'm not sure when that will come out. I believe it'll still be maybe a week or so. And then I'm, also on my video channels doing other, both Traitors UK and Traitors US, and some Beast games and Survivor 50 look aheads. So again, I'm at David Bloomberg TV there, or you could just go to my link tree, which is linktree/David Bloomberg, to find me everywhere.
And David's Linktree address is in the episode description. And to make sure you're up to date with the podcast and Traitors news and updates and little videos from me and live videos I'm doing, you can follow on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at the Traitors Podcast. I did a live video yesterday, kind of intending just to come on and say hey for 5 minutes because I've reached well over 1,000 followers now on Instagram, which means I can go live again. So I just came online to say, hey, you can go live. Hi, everyone. Thinking a couple of people might wave and then leave. And in a really nice way, like lots of people joined in and started asking questions and having chats and talking to one another. And it went on for 55 minutes, which was great. It was really cool. I didn't expect that. It was only when I finished it and Instagram downloads it, I looked at the time and it said 55 minutes. I was like, wow. So I've also uploaded that to YouTube now. So if you missed that live, you can head to the YouTube channel and it's there. And you can see what everybody was sending in questions about. It was really good fun. And actually, I think because it went so well, I should do it more often. I wonder if maybe I ought to do it actually next Sunday again. So maybe just like after the next 3 batches of UK episodes, be just fun to go online and have a chat about them. So I'm planning to do another Instagram live on Sunday, the 18th of January. It will be evening UK time, maybe around 6 or 7. Once I decide, I'll post something on social media to say, hey, going live at this time, this date. But it was great fun, so we'll do it again. And if you want to send questions or thoughts before then, maybe you can't join the live or you're not in Instagram or you want us to talk about something at length on the podcast, you can email me at thetraderpodcast@gmail.com or leave a voice note at memo.fm/thetraderpodcast. I have at least one voice note to play in our next UK episode, so that'll be cool. And wherever you're listening, of course, it's great if you can subscribe and follow and leave star ratings and reviews, and it helps other people find them and it pushes them up the algorithm and all that stuff. Thanks to everybody who's been doing that so far. There are a couple of final ways you can help support the podcast and make sure it keeps going. You could buy some lovely merch to show how much you love the podcast and love the Traitors at thetrader.redbubble.com. There are mugs and t-shirts and caps and like this t-shirt, it's from Redbubble. Or phone covers. I have a phone case right here with the Traitor on it and mouse mats and all sorts of cool things. Someone just bought something, I think, yesterday and I got an email. So thanks to whoever that person was. And you could do something else if you didn't want to do that. You could visit the coffee.com page, chip in a donation of whatever amount you feel like without having to subscribe to anything. That's at ko-fi.com/Matthew Keeley. A couple of people have also donated to that just in the past couple of days. Thank you so much. I'll give you a shout out on the main podcast as well to say thank you. I'll be back in a few days to recap episode 7 of the Traitors UK Series 4. I'll be joined by Traitors superfan Joe and David. I guess you already said this, but you'll be back for Traitors US before then.
Yes, I'll be back for Traitors US episodes 4 and 5, which we will combine. I believe I will have a guest who is familiar to frequent listeners of the Traitor, and that will be coming probably. Let's see here. So the Friday night U.S. time, and we hope it'll be ready and posted by then, and then I think Saturday I will be jumping on to the UK podcast for episode 9.
Yes, that's right. So until then, Alan Cumming, you will not steal this catchphrase from me. Laters, Traitors.